Hello YouTube, this is Hunter Surge with some Cardfight Vanguard content. Fell a bit behind on the news video, so we're gonna be doing a double decker today. We have something I'm very excited for, the Gabwellius Fantome deck, and something I'm very not excited for, the Blangdmire Mythisch. So let's get into it. First up, they are doing reprints of both of the moon orders in this set, which is very, very nice to see. I didn't quite have it pulled up correctly. All right, cool, got that properly sorted. So, 2 Tuesday streams ago, we got the moon reprints confirmed, and then we got Gabwellius. Let's go through the ride line from the bottom. Grade 0, D starter is a D starter, nothing much to say there. Grade 1, when wrote upon by the Grade 2, you can Energy Blast 3 and search your deck for a Crimson Moon card and add to your hand, and shuffle your deck. And then on the rear, it gets power plus 2k. This is very, very nice, to be honest. This is a very good ride line card. Like, it makes the Orient stuff, like, line up really, really consistently because you'll always have the order piece, and the order can find the Orients as well. So that powerful turn 2 will be very, very consistent. That's very good to see. Then Grade 2, we have when wrote upon by Grade 3 Gabwellius, you look top 3, add 1 to hand, discard 1, and return the rest of the bottom of your deck. Very good deck thinning. The ride line will deck thin 3 total. This is a very high quality ride line effect, so I'm very happy with this as well. Gets an additional plus 5k on rear if you have a Grade 3 Gabwellius Vanguard. And then the big man himself, Mr. Gabwellius Fantome. When it attacks, counterblast 1, throw 2 rears into the soul. Choose and call up to 2 Grade 3 or lowers from your drop onto rearguard circles in the same column. So it only enables a 4th attack. And then at the end of the turn, you put all the things you called by this into the soul. For the Fantome skill, you bind 1 Crimson Moon from your hand, soul, or drop to activate all of the following. First is during this turn, you get, if there are 1 or more Crimson Moons in bind, your front row gets plus 5k. And if there are 3 or more, plus 10k instead. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, when your opponent's drive check, Freedom Duo has this incorrect here, drive checks a critical trigger, you can choose and nullify one of that trigger's effects. And at the start of your turn, during this turn, you get your Grade 3 or greater Gabwellius Vanguard gets a trigger effect that was nullified by your Fantome skill during the previous turn. So nullifying critical triggers is extremely powerful. What it really, really enables is, say you're at like 4 or less damage, right? Your opponent's ringing in with your Vanguard. If you want, you can't, like, under normal circumstances, you can't take that because they could flip a single crit and kill you, right? But guarding a Vanguard in particular is pretty awkward. It often demands a perfect guard out of you because you need to overguard and account for the potential triggers that they'd hit, right? And that is a law of the risk and reward in Vanguard. How you navigate around that decision point. Well, if you can nullify the first critical trigger that your opponent can get, the amount of times that you have to guard the Vanguard swing are way lower. A lot of the time you're just going to be able to go, yeah, go for it. Go for it, man. It can also make you do like 1 passes a lot more safely because you can go, yeah, if you have the triggers in your deck, I'm going to get to nullify the plus 10k on it, right? Or like use that to stop your opponent from breaking a 2 pass, or like there's just a lot of lines. Like being able to cancel the power that they would give to the rears is also very strong. Like there's just endless applications of an effect like this that are just extremely good, and you're so low investment on it. 1 moon is nothing. Like you are never going through all of your moons doing this, unless you're in like a really, really grindy matchup. Like the fact that you will eventually run out of moons just is not a factor here. So this effect is just really, really strong. It's like this effect is like a strong enough reason to play the deck on its own. It is such a powerful effect. Also, it does have a way to enable a 5th attack, because Desire Devil Bubetsu can Counterblast 1 call something from hand when it's put into Soul. So you can suck it up for the on attack and get a 5th attack that way when you really need to, probably in the later stages of the game. But yeah, this is a really, really powerful Fantome skill. Uh, the Cycler is Spiral Cutie. I really don't think we need this here. Like, as mentioned, like, we don't need that high velocity of our Crimson Moons. We can get them pretty slowly, honestly. So I really don't feel that we have a need for this Cycler at all. And I don't think it's like, these cards are like kind of mid as far as Cyclers go, and I would generally rather not use them if the like requirements of the deck's Crimson Moon costs are low enough that you don't need them. Then we have a triple rare, grade 2, Reverend Dragon. From the drop, it can EV3 to revive itself if you have a grade 3 or greater Gabwellius Vanguard and you don't have another card with this card name. And then on attack, if you have a grade 3 or greater Gabwellius Vanguard, you get to Soul Blast 1, get power plus 5k, and it gets power plus 10k instead if you have 2 or more bound Crimson Moons. Then we have a double rare, Highest Breath Dragon. When this enters rear during the main phase and you have a grade 3 or greater Gabwellius Vanguard, use Soul Blast 1, look top 5, and discard any grade 3 or lower from among them. And then this card gets power plus 2k for the turn. Very, very good on place. Like, this is very nice deck filtering. Helps you get your moons in rotation. Helps you get stuff ready for you to call it back with Gabwellius. Like, really, really good stuff here. And then when it's put into Soul from rear by the ability of your grade 3 or greater Gabwellius, you get to bind it and then draw a card. So it's also like basically filling the Philia role, which is pretty good. Then grade 3, Febrile Dragon. If you have a grade 3 or greater Gabwellius Vanguard and you don't have a card with its name on the field, you can Soul Blast 2 and revive it. And then when this attacks a grade 3 or greater Gabwellius Vanguard, it gets power plus 5k. So you have a nice little like infinite field thing going where you can go like, okay, I have these two in the front row. I attack with both of them. And then I shove them into Soul, call out another copy of Reverent from the drop. Then Reverent will Soul Blast out the Febrile. Then on my next turn, I'm going to revive the Febrile by Soul Blasting 2, which will be the 2 Reverence, and then I'll be able to use Reverence, EV3, to bring itself back. And that just loops, right? Nice little resource loop it has going there. That whole thing has a shortage of boosters. The boosters that you'd want are, of course, Pious Breath. Philia is really good here as well, because, like, if you call it off of the Gabwellius on attack, you can shove it to Soul and just replace itself and go +1 compared to normal, which is very, very nice. And another option I've been thinking about is Finley, because Finley is like a persistent booster into non-retire matchups. The deck builds a lot of soul. Even with the 3 soul we're using, we're generating 2 soul a turn cycle. So like we shouldn't have much issue. No, maybe if we do the on attack of 2 different Reverence, then we will have 1+1 soul. But like it's still enough soul gain before factoring in stuff like Philia, that like we can maybe use Finley's effect on occasion, and that's just a persistent 13k booster that draws us additional cards. So it seems pretty appealing. I do like it quite a bit. And then lastly, we have this grade 2. When it's put into Soul by the effect of your grade 3 or greater Gabwellius Vanguard, you choose one of your units, give it power plus 5k. If there are 2 or more Crimson Moons in your bind zone, choose 2 instead. This is a bit too slow and doesn't really do anything on its own, so I don't think this is worth playing in the deck. And we also have some Varga cards. So the Mythisch for Varga is actually really, really good. So on place, you Soul Blast 1, look top 7 for a Varga and put into your hand. This is actually much better than this sort of effect on like basically all of the other Mythisches, except for what the name is? What is Gabwellius' name? Rifistor. But Rifistor's has a heavier cost of Counter Blast 1. This is just Soul Blast 1, which is like nothing. in the context of Varga. That's not a cost you have any problem paying. So that's a pretty great cost, and like it's really important that you find Rakshasa in Varga. So that's really appreciated. And then we get into its next two effects, which require you to have a grade 3 or greater Varga Vanguard. During your turn, this unit gets power plus 5k, and then if you have no other rear in the same row, with the same name, it gets boost and cannot be retired by card effect. So this is a persistent 15k booster, but wait. So the third effect is during the battle phase, when your Vanguard stands, it gets power plus 5k for the turn. Then if you don't have another rear with the same name in the same row, you can, and you have used the divine skill this fight, you can energy blast 3 to make its critical become 2. So what's really nice about this is, despite the same name check, you can have one in each row, one functioning as a 20k attacker that it becomes crit 2, and one functioning as a 20k booster. You can have them in the same column for a 50k column that swings after Varga's done. You can split them up. You can give like Varga a 20k booster that will allow his no drive check swing to swing for 53 on Persona Ride turn, 43 otherwise. Yeah, there's just a lot of really good applications. It makes it really easy for Varga to set up board states with the help of one Shura, where it has 2 rearguard attackers after the front row retire from Varga himself, which results in you having actual proper targets for your triggers. It makes it so fronts are actually at full power in Varga, which is kind of nuts. Yeah, this is just a really good Mythisch. This is a really, really big upgrade. The crit becoming 2 is also cool because, like, if you hit a crit on your third divine skill turn swing, you can still pass them to this because it's already had its crit become 2 at that point. So you can still pass them over there and have it reach like 3 crit if you need to. And that column, like if it's a double Salva column, it's a massive column. It's 50k on Persona Ride turn, hit 60k with a trigger, like it's insane. It's the numbers on it are crazy. This is a really, really good card. Really big upgrade. This grade 1 is just when the attack at boost hits, you can reveal grade 3 Varga, or if you have a grade 3 Varga on Vanguard Circle, you get to look top 7, add a Mythisch, and then if you do put this into Soul, I don't think this is good enough. I don't think this makes the cut at all. Alright, yeah. Okay, so they did confirm the Drive Plus 1 pack is continuing to be a thing for DZ14. I would be unsurprised if this is just a thing that they do going forward, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Has had this sort of +1 in the OCG, has had this sort of like +1 pack as a box topper for a very, very long time. So I would be unsurprised to see this, and I would appreciate it because wow, the triple rare bloat in this game is getting ridiculous. Alright, so Alphard cards. We have a grade 1, when it's placed on rear. You show a grade 3 Alphard from your ride deck, or if you have an Alphard Vanguard, you get to Counterblast 1, look top 7, add a Alphard or Crimson Moon card to your hand. If you didn't add anything, you Soul Charge 2. The whiff condition is kind of really, really bad. Wait, is that... Okay. And then on boost, if you've used the Fantome skill of a grade 3 Alphard Vanguard this turn, it gets power plus 5k. That 13k booster condition is awful because Alphard wants to go for a one-shot kill. Like, that's really bad, actually. That's really, really bad that like, most, like, on your, like, turn 3, because you're probably going for on turn 4. Yeah, you need to Persona Ride, I think. Yeah, that's really bad. That's a really bad boost condition. I don't like this card much at all, to be honest. And then the grade 2 is, it gets power plus 5k if you have a grade 3 or greater Alphard Vanguard. And then when your grade 3 or greater Alpha Vanguard attacks and none of your rears have stood during this battle phase, you can Energy Blast to restand this, and it gets power plus 10k. It's templated such that you can't get 5 attacks by combining this with the Gamma Rays, right? Which kind of sucks. Like, some redundancy on having your 4th attack is pretty nice, especially in archetypes like this that need a specific rear to have that additional attack and don't just have infinite revival to make sure you always have it. But this card is not. I think it definitely goes into the deck. I don't think it's very good though. It's not a significant upgrade. And then we have Mr. Blangdmire's Mythisch, because for some reason we needed to give the most toxic game, the most toxic deck that the entirety of D series has produced, more support. Cool. Okay. So this is a dual nation without saying it's a dual nation. It's always treated as Keter Sanctuary, so it's also support for Keter Blang, a Blangdmire Fantome, which I quite like Blangdmire Fantome, so I don't mind that at all. So, if you have a grade 3 or greater Blangdmire Vanguard, it gets all of the following. The first effect is from Solar Drop. At the start of your main phase, if you do not have a rear with the same name as this card, you may call this card onto a rearguard circle, and then if you called it, this way you return to the bottom of your deck at the end of the turn. So it's not like a true Maple, it's not going to be forever persistent, but a Maple is still pretty good, and like, Blangdmire chews through its deck so fast that you're not going to have trouble setting all of these up that you need. This is a very, very powerful effect for Blangdmire to get access to. Keter Blangdmire likes it a lot too. This is a persistent body you can get. And the cool thing is Keter Blang actually doesn't feel that drawback like at all, because if you just call over it during the course of your battle phase, it won't return to bottom. And Keter Blang is going to do that every single time. Then the second effect is at the start of your battle phase, for this turn, this unit gets power plus 5,000, and you choose one of your rears, and during this turn, it gets boost. So we have taken the bricky part of the Blangdmire deck for to get maximum output. The thing that some players will sometimes choose to not do at all because it's kind of bricky and you can just whiff it sometimes. And just put it in a really good card that self-revives. Right. Cool. So the thing is, if it was just these first two effects, the card would already be insane. It would already be an enormous upgrade to Blangdmire. But on top of that, it also has a third effect that at the end of your Vanguard's attack, if you've used a Divine Skill this fight of your grade 3 or greater Blangdmire Vanguard, and during this battle phase none of your rears have stood, you EB3 stand all of your rears in the same column as this unit. So you're going to put this in the same column as Vadrock, right? It's going to swing for fucking 60k or some stupid shit. And then it's going to restand when your Blangdmire swings, and you're going to get to do it again. What this really does is it makes the long game of Blangdmire better. Like, if you don't kill them on their Divine Skill turn, you basically demand a PG out of them on your first swing, which is going to make it much harder for them to guard your stupid numbers, while also doing the thing where on your future turns you're having this 60k twice in a turn, which is really, really obnoxious. And you can never really get in a spot where you're not able to do 4 attacks because this self-revives, and it doesn't cost Counterblast for the restand, unlike Alchemist, which at least costed a Counterblast. Which also means you can go all in on spending your Counterblast on resources and deck thinning and all that shit. Yeah, this card's just crazy. This card is just completely insane. Blangdmire is literally my least favorite deck in the game. All eras, honestly. I really, really hate this deck. I hate guard restriction in general. So it's no question why I would hate a deck like Blangdmire. And I don't understand why Bushiroad felt the need. Because outside of Blangdmire, I think that DZ has been really good about not making toxic decks. I have not found any of the best decks in formats that we've had over the course of DZ to be toxic, right? I think Varga was a pretty reasonable top deck, at least after we got the Veilord ban, right? I haven't had that much issue with Vergilla or Herthuru being top decks. Like, Sojo Doji was a cool deck. Resual Levidress was maybe the worst format we've had in DZ, but like, holy shit, I hate Blangdmire. I hate Blangdmire so much. I hate this deck, and I don't understand why we felt the need to give it such an insane card. Yeah. Really, really annoying. And then grade 1. At the end of the battle, this boosts a rear guard, and you have a grade 3 critter Blangdmire Vanguard. You can put the boosted rear into soul, retire this unit, draw a card. It's alright. There's maybe a possibility this sees play, but I don't think it's particularly likely. And then we have this new Keter Maid archetype that they showed on Thursday. So let's go to the bottom and go up from there. So, D-Starter does D-Starter things. Then we have a grade 1, Bel Fiore Nose. So when this is, oh no, that's a rare. Sorry. Yes, here we go. Okay. Bel Fiore Chica. When wrote upon by the grade 2, you reveal a grade 3 Bel Fiore from your ride deck, and you put their set order token into your order zone. And then on Guardian Circle, it gets shield plus 5k. This will be relevant. So the order is once per turn, you can rest it, look at top 7, and choose 2 Bel Fiore cards and engage them to your garden, shuffle your deck. At the start of your ride phase, if you have a grade 3 or greater Bel Fiore Vanguard, you can discard a card to choose and ride 1 engaged card with the same name as your Vanguard. In stand, if rode, you activate Persona Ride, and during this turn you cannot ride. So that second effect is, both of these effects are crazy, right? Because the first effect is just, okay, I'm going to deck thin to every single turn from turn 1, right? Wait, no, from turn 2, right? You get on the turn 2 ride. Yeah, you get on the grade 2 ride. No. Yeah, you get on the grade 1 ride. So every turn from turn 1, you're going to be deck thinning 2, right? Which is really good. That's really, really good. And then it also has this bonus effect where you can Persona Ride from it, which makes your Persona Rides very consistent. But also, if I recall correctly, this has ways to engage from the drop zone, which means you will actually never run out of Persona Rides. You will Persona Ride every single turn from turn 4 onwards, every single game, which is really, really strong. That Persona Ride consistency is really good. Then we have the grade 2 Bel Fiore movie. All of your rears with Bel Fiore in its name cannot be chosen by an opponent's card effect. That's really nice, really, really powerful. Which means like you can't lose stuff permanently to like Vergilla binds or anything like that. You're still vulnerable to like AoE effects like Varga, but that's still really strong. And then once per turn on Vanguard Circle, you can Soul Blast 1, choose and call one of your grade 2 or lower engaged cards with Bel Fiore's name onto a rear guard circle. So this ensures that you'll have like some good early game, which is also really strong. That's really, really good. And then the grade 3, and then we'll circle back. Bel Fiore Maya. So it has the same effect that your rears with Bel Fiore's name cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. And also during your turn, all of your units with Bel Fiore's name in the front row get power plus 5k. Then Act CB1, once per turn, you choose cards with different names that are engaged. You choose your cards with different names that are engaged and call up to the same number as your opponent's Vanguard's grade onto rearguard circle. And then if you Persona Road this turn, during this turn, this card gets critical plus 1. So this is like the Android effect, basically. You call 2 if you have if your opponent's at grade 2 and you're basically on your right up turn when you're going first. I mean, you call 3 otherwise, unless you're fighting like a grade 4 deck, in which case you get to call 4. Really good. Really, really good effect. It gives you like really consistent board filling. And then once per turn, when this unit is attacked, you can Soul Blast 1. choose and move any number of your rears with Bel Fiore and its name onto the Guardian Circle. So that's this instead of like the small like extra shield that you get with Android, this is one big extra shield, which you'll like as we'll get into, this shield will be like it's gonna be like 40k shield off this effect. Because a ton of the Bel Fiore cards have like plus 5k shield effects of some sort. So yeah, this is very good. This is very, very good. Then we have a grade 2. This thing is crazy as a Direful Doll player. This card is like basically Providenza plus Liberata. So it's a grade 2. When it's placed on rear or Guardian Circle and you have a Bel Fiore Vanguard, you can counterblast 1, look at top 2. And you add 1 to your hand and return the rest to the bottom of your deck. Or put into Soul. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard during that turn, this unit gets power plus 5k, shield plus 5k. And then during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Bel Fiore Vanguard, this gets power plus 5k, so you'll have plus 10k total if you feed it the counterblast 1. And then when your grade 3 or greater Bel Fiore Vanguard attacks, you can Energy Blast 3, stand this unit, and then you choose and engage 1 card with Bel Fiore's name from your drop to your garden. So this does the Liberata thing on restand. If you have 2 of these, you can do 5 attacks in the same way that Direful Dolls does, right? This is where like the different name thing on Maya becomes a bit annoying. Direful Dolls doesn't have that sort of restriction, so you can just call out 2 Providenzas, no problem. But this deck can't call out 2 Suellas, and that's not great. As far as I recall, there's no other ways to get multi-attacks. So you're kind of dependent on having 2 of these to get your 5 attacks. This has another issue in that to get its bonus shield, you need to pay into this Counterblast 1 effect. And that Counterblast 1 effect is pretty good. But like having some of your power gain and your shield gain locked behind it, it's not fantastic, especially when you already have to feed Counterblast 1 into Maya every turn. It's very similar to like how Providence always was, right? Maybe we can fit Dissection Angel into this deck for some counter charge. That might resolve this issue. This is also a twin drive deck, unlike Android, which is a triple drive deck. So that's also a bit of an awkwardness, but this card is still really, really, really good. Really fantastic card. Then double rare grade 3. When it's placed on rear by your card ability and you have a Bel Fiore Vanguard, you choose 1 rear on your opponent's front row, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, this card gets the power and shield of the original shield on the unit on the chosen rear guard circle. So a lot of the time, this is going to be plus 5k power, plus 5k shield. However, if you target like a mate unit from one of the Skyride decks, this will pump itself by like plus 15. Or in the case of Alcastle, it will be plus 20. So you can get a lot of value there, but like in most matchups, it's just going to be plus 5k power, plus 5k shield, which isn't a ton. That's not a lot. And then grade 2, when this is placed on rear by your card ability and you have a Bel Fiore Vanguard, during this turn, this card gets boost, and you choose an opponent's rear guard, and during this turn, it gets shield minus 5,000, which is pretty neat. And it's like a 10k booster, which is pretty solid. Then when it's placed onto Guardian Circle and you have a Bel Fiore Vanguard, you choose one of your opponent's units and give it power minus 5,000. So it's not directly a power shield plus 5,000, but in some ways it's better, because into anything that restands, you're actually going to get recurrent value off this. Like, imagine doing this to Varga. You're actually getting like 20k shield off this single card. Into any restanding rear, you get some additional value as well. Like, this is pretty good. That's a pretty cool effect. I like that effect a lot. Grade 1, when it's in your order zone and your opponent plays an order, you get to bind it to draw a card. And then if your opponent has on rear during this turn, if your opponent plays an order and this card was placed by a card ability, it gets power plus 10k. So like discourages blitz orders. The effect in the order zone might be good enough, but there's going to be some matchups where this just doesn't do anything, especially because the most common Regalis pieces are Twin Cast and Fire Regalis, and when they use those effects that remove them from the game, you just aren't actually going to get anything. Though that isn't playing in order. So you won't trigger this. If you're fighting like a Brandgate set order, a Brandgate set order token order deck, or like Vase Ruger, that isn't even token order, but only sets the order the one time. Actually, no, or Vase Ruger has the order it plays every turn, so you will get some value out of it there. But like if you're playing into any of those token set order decks, you just won't ever get to proc this draw one effect, which kind of sucks. So it's an interesting card, but it's not fantastic. And then grade 2, common, all of your rears with Bel Fiore. Oh, no, this is the right line, sorry. Grade 1, common. When your other unit with Bel Fiore in the same column as this stands, you soul less one restand it. It has shield plus 5,000 if you have a Bel Fiore Vanguard. Also, having a high concentration of just 10k shields from the hand throughout the deck, it's like pretty nice. That's just honestly a really nice attribute the deck has. And this is just a restanding booster. Restanding boosters are just generally pretty good. And then grade 1, common. When it's placed on rear, you choose to engage up to 2 cards with Bel Fiore's name and different card names from this card from your drop into the garden. So this is what's going to enable you to loop your Persona Ride super easily and just loop your resources. Super good. And then it's a 10k booster. Oh no, it's only a 10k booster when it boosts at grade 3 specifically. That kind of sucks. So this archetype has some holes, but it's very similar to like the Alpha Dolls and B Hero. That these decks that have like these defensive gimmicks going on. It has some cool resource loop stuff going on. Getting to the 5 attacks is going to be a bit annoying. But it has like really good deck thinning, really consistent access to Persona Rides. Not having any inherent countercharge is kind of annoying, but we can probably use Dissection Angel and handle it that way. But that will reduce how much shield you're getting from your board. But this deck has a lot of really cool attributes. I like it quite a bit. I will probably end up picking it up, to be honest. And then let us move on to cards of the day. So, we have a lot of chaff to get through. So, grade 3, Lyrical. If there's a normal order in the bind zone, this cannot be retired by card effects and gets power plus 5k. If this was a grade 2, maybe. If Vanguard had sideboards, maybe. But as is, this is not good enough. And then this cycle, we're going to see a couple of these. Grade 2, when it attacks a grade 3 or greater, and you play an order this turn, so the last one, it gets power plus 10k. It's better than a lot of common cycles that we've seen in the past, but almost every archetype has, if not multiple, at least one plus 10k attacker. So this is just not good enough. Then we have some Dark State stuff. We have an Almagistar card. When it's placed on rear and you have a Almagistar Vanguard, you can put an Astroya or critical trigger from your drop into Soul. And when your other rearguard stands by the ability of your grade 3 or greater Astroya Vanguard, during this turn you may give all rears in the front row plus 5k. If you do, at the end of this turn, you retire this unit and draw a card. So that front row pump, really nice. And drawing a card as well, pretty nice. This is just a very nice card. I like this card quite a bit. So this is actually a Gabwellius card. It has the Fantome tag. So it's Adoring Dragon. I don't know, I think this is actually Adoring Dragon. But whatever. In the drop, you can bind another card with the same name as this. And you call it onto rear. The deck wouldn't mind having like a self-reviving booster like this, but the way this card is designed, it kind of demands that you run like 4 copies of it, and that's a lot for a card that doesn't really do anything else. So I'm not a huge fan of this. I would much more like a card like the self-calling grade 1 that Al Castle got, because that card can just be teched as a one-off, no problem. Then we have grade 1. During your turn, when it's placed on rearguard circle, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a trigger, it gets until the end of your opponent's next turn. You can retire this when your Vanguard is attacked to give it power plus 5k. So it's basically just a back row intercept. Put the reveal card into soul or discard it. This card is really bad. This is really bad. This is like a really bad soul charge one. Like, oh my god, it's awful. Then for Brandgate card of the day, it's just a cycle again. Same thing we said before. Then Keter Sanctuary cards, same cycle. Not going to go over it again. Then we have a High Beast grade 1. When it's placed on Guardian Circle and your Vanguard either has a lower grade than your opponent's or your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater. This is a cool condition to see. It gets shield plus 5,000. If there are 5 or more High Beasts in your drop, shield plus 10,000 instead. I could maybe see this in Houndriser. As like a cool like 15k shield the deck gets access to. That would be neat. But that's about it. Then we have Stoicha. Once per turn, this is a grade 3. When it attacks a Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, and this is the 5th battle or more this turn, you can Energy Blast 3 and give it the Battle Dory effect. Yeah, that's not enough power gain here for that to like really matter like at all. Like this is too much for too weak of a Battle Dory. Then we have... Oh, right, Artisaria. So this is a grade 2 Artisaria card. When it's placed on rear from hand, you look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal and add up to 1 card with Artisaria in its name or a sound system card. And then if you reveal, you choose 1 card from your hand, put it into soul, or discard it. If it's a sound system, you just chuck it in soul or discard it very easily because you can only play those from drop. So that's like not too bad for like a free look top 5. When it attacks for each sound system in your order zone, it gets power plus 5k for the turn. This is super nice because this is actually going to be able to scale up pretty hard. Like plus 5k for every single sound system is a pretty good power gain. Then this is just the lyrical for... Wait, what? Oh, no, it isn't. It isn't. It's a different card. It's all the same cycle. When it attacks a grade 3 or greater, you can counterblast 1 to give this power plus 5k, and at the end of this battle, you bounce it back to hand. Not good enough for CB1. Not in any way good enough for CB1. Then we have Dragon Empire, grade 3. This is a cycle from last set. I guess Dragon Empire didn't get theirs. For each card in your damage zone, you reduce this cost by 1 energy. When this attacks, you Energy Blast 5, and it gets power plus 10k. As I've said basically every time we've gone over them, if these were plus 15k, I think this would be worth considering. But only plus 10k, this is in no way good enough to consider a grade 3 that does nothing else. Then grade 1, Stealth Fiend, Stealth, Kawaitachi. During your turn, when your unit enters a rearguard circle, other than from hand, and you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, you may soul charge 1. In addition, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, during this turn, this unit gets power plus 5k. Wait, hold up. Oh, no. It's when this unit is played. Yeah, it's when this unit is played. I just missed that when reading it the first time. Yeah, this is... If this was like when another unit is played, give this plus 5k, this card would be actually insane. That would be like producing ridiculous numbers. But no, this is just okay. This is just a 13k booster, really. Then we have some cool Blangdmire cards. Not Blangdmire, Bear Magnus. Bear Magnus is a cool deck. Blangdmire is not. Interesting thing about these cards, as we'll get into. Bear Magnus has had a thing for a long time where, like, Soul Charging 2 is, like, not common at all. There's pretty few cards that the deck has access to that Soul Charge 2. Both these cards we're going to talk about are able to Soul Charge 3. So that's really big for the deck's ability to get its effects online. So this is a grade 2. When it's placed on rear, you can counterblast 1 and activate 1 of the following. You reveal a grade 3 Bear Magnus, or if you have a Bear Magnus Vanguard, you draw 1. And then if you have a grade 3 or greater Bear Magnus Vanguard, as the other effect is if you have a grade 3 or greater Bear Magnus Vanguard, you reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, Put any amount into your soul and shuffle the rest into your deck. In addition, you may draw one. So you may recognize this effect. This is Zemoogs on place. Except a bit better because it has this early game mode. But this is a really good effect. This is really great at deck thinning. It can potentially soul charge 3. It draws a card as well. Like, this is a really good effect. And then it has just a bonus shield plus 5,000 effect as well. This is a good card. And then grade 1. Grade 1. When it's placed on rare from hand, you may reveal grade 3 Bear Magnus from your ride deck. If you revealed, or if you have a Bear Magnus Vanguard, you soul charge 3. Just flat out soul charge 3. Now you're doing that completely blind, which can be a bit scary. But getting that much soul helps so much with getting Bear Magnus' full effect online. So that's really good. It also has a secondary effect if you have 10 or more in soul, which is going to be child's play with cards like this. This unit gets power plus 5,000. A really fantastic card. And then this card is not really Bear Magnus support. It's a grade 1 common. When it's placed on rare from hand, you soul charge 1. If you soul charge a trigger, energy charge 1. Very, very bad. But these two Bear Magnus cards, really good. See, these seem like massive deals for the deck. And then, oh, yes. Okay. There's no card of the day on this deck. Okay. All right. That's it for today. Cool Bear Magnus cards. I like the new main archetype a lot. I really love Gabwellius Fantome. I'll probably be building it. And I hate Blangdmire so much. Why did they give it that card? At least it's usable in Keter Blangdmire, which is a very cool deck that doesn't do the bullshit things. So that is the solace I will take in this moment. But yeah, that's it for me. I'll see you guys later. This is Mythisch signing off.